Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the public scoping meeting for the Friant-Kern Canal Pumpback Project. Before we get started with the meeting, we would like to go over a few housekeeping items. This MS Teams live tool does not allow attendees to share audio. Comments can be submitted in writing via the Q&A tool. Comments submitted using the Q&A tool during this meeting will be considered in the development of the EIR. Please provide your full name, agency name, contact information, along with your comment. You can submit comments during this meeting using the Ask Question function in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. If the Q&A tool is not visible, use the Q&A button on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, which will make the Ask Question show up. As noted previously, please provide full name, agency name, and contact information with the comment. You can also choose to post the question anonymously, but you will not be included in our email distribution list for future project correspondence. Before we get to the crux of the meeting, a quick round of introductions. I'm Anusha Kashyap with CDM Smith, consultant to Friant Water Authority. We also have on the line Katie Duncan with Friant Water Authority, the CEQA lead agency, and Ian Buck-McLeod with Friant Water Authority. Lastly, we have Laura Campagna with CDM Smith, who will be monitoring the comments that come in. So what is public scoping? This public scoping meeting invites agencies, stakeholders, and interested public to participate in the environmental review process. Scoping helps to identify and refine potential options and alternatives, environmental impacts, and mitigation measures. The notice of preparation for this project was published on May 29, 2024, and the scoping period closes on June 27, 2024. The purpose of this meeting is to provide information about the project and environmental compliance process, gather information from the public on alternatives and potential environmental issues, and comply with CEQA guidelines. Our desired outcomes for this meeting include a common understanding among participating members of the public and the government representatives of the environmental review process that must be completed by the Friant Water Authority before the project could be implemented, an opportunity for the public and government representatives to provide topics and questions that they would like to see investigated in the environmental impact report, and lastly, a common understanding among participating members of the public and other government representatives of how and when they can provide additional input in the environmental review process. At this time, Katie Duncan from Friant Water Authority will provide an overview of the project. Katie.
Thank you, Anusha. Before I get started, I just wanted to provide a brief background on Friant Water Authority. Friant Water Authority is a public agency that operates and maintains the Friant-Kern Canal. And the Friant-Kern Canal supplies water to more than 15,000 farms on 1 million acres of land and several cities on the east side of the San Joaquin Valley. There are 32 Friant contractors that in total have a contract volume of 2.2 million acre-feet of water. The Friant-Kern Canal is a 152-mile canal that conveys water from Millerton Lake at Friant Dam in Fresno all the way to Bakersfield. And now I'll describe the proposed project. As part of the San Joaquin River Restoration Act, the Bureau of Reclamation was directed to explore the feasibility of reverse flow pumpback facilities on the Friant-Kern Canal. And in 2011, Reclamation explored the feasibility of permanent check structures on the Friant-Kern Canal that would facilitate the conveyance of recapture and recirculated San Joaquin River flows and other supplies from the west side of the San Joaquin Valley for direct delivery to Friant contractors. In 2015, Friant Water Authority explored another iteration of these proposed facilities and ever since has been engaging with a stakeholder group made up of Friant Division long-term contractors, working through planning activities to develop the proposed project. This project is an important part to achieve the water management goal of the San Joaquin River Restoration Program. The proposed project seeks to expand existing temporary pump back facilities on the canal to increase long-term reliability by constructing 3 permanent pump back facilities along the lower portion of the FKC. This would facilitate reverse flow of water that is introduced from the Cross Valley Canal or other banking facilities near the terminus of the canal. We're looking at the Kern check. There is a 500 CFS intertie that would convey water. It's existing that would convey water from the Cross Valley Canal into the Friant-Kern Canal. The proposed project proposes to construct permanent facilities at the Shafter-Wasco check, the Lake Wollums check structure, and the Deer Creek check structure. 500 CFS at the Shafter-Wasco check structure, 250 CFS at Lake Wollums, and 250 CFS at Deer Creek. Next slide. We will evaluate 3 project alternatives and compare evaluation results to the proposed project. The first, as required by CEQA, is the no project alternative. This essentially analyzes conditions assuming the project is not constructed. So no new facilities would be constructed and pump back operations would only utilize existing and or temporary facilities on the canal, which include a 500 CFS pump station that pumps water from the CVC into the lower end of the Friant-Kern, a 30 CFS permanent pump facility at the Shafter check, and 150 CFS temporary pump back facility at the Wollums check. These temporary facilities are assumed to stay in place until their use would no longer be supported by regular maintenance. The next alternative, the low flow alternative, proposes constructing 3 new permanent pump back facilities along the Friant-Kern Canal. In comparison to the proposed project, this alternative also proposes permanent facilities, but the pump back facilities have a lesser flow capacity. 250 CFS at the Shafter check, and then 75 CFS at both the Lake Wollums and Deer Creek checks. The third alternative is the seasonal alternative, which evaluates installing and operating seasonal pump back facilities or dedicated pump back pumps and frames that can be installed and removed from the canal as needed on an annual basis. Capacity would be up to 200 CFS at the Shafter check and up to 75 CFS at the Wollums check. There would not be a pump back facility at the Deer Creek check structure. Next slide. The project study area is the Friant-Kern Canal and all related water infrastructure near the Shafter-Wasco, Lake Wollums, and Deer Creek check structures. The project area also includes Friant contractors south of the Tule check, 11 in total, and all contractor facilities and related water conveyance infrastructure, including the Cross Valley Canal, Kern River, and the California Aqueduct. Next, Anusha will review the areas of interest to be evaluated in the environmental impact report.
Thank you, Katie. The environmental impact analysis will evaluate the following areas of interest: hydrology and water resources, geology and soils, air quality, greenhouse gas emissions, visual resources, noise, traffic and transportation, hazards and hazardous materials, terrestrial resources, recreation, and cultural resources. As shown in this slide, we are in the first step of the environmental compliance process, the public scoping period. This step will be followed by the preparation of the EIR and publication of the draft EIR, followed by the public comment period during which Friant Water Authority will be engaging with the public again. This will be followed by the publication of the final EIR, at which point Friant Water Authority will make a decision on the project. A summary of the project schedule. The notice of preparation was published on May 29th, 2024. The scoping period extends from May 29th to June 27th, 2024. The draft EIR is expected to be published in the 3rd or 4th quarter of 2024, followed by the public review period. The final EIR and notice of determination will be completed in the 1st or 2nd quarter of 2025. Lastly, a copy of this presentation is available on Friant Water Authority's website. Comments can be submitted using the Q&A tool in this live event. Mail-in or email comments should be submitted by June 27th, 2024, and addressed to Katie Duncan. The mail-in address is 854 North Harvard Avenue, Lindsay, California, 93247, or it can be emailed to fkcpumpback@friantwater.org. This concludes the presentation part of this meeting. Once again, you can provide comments now through the Q&A tool. If you do not see the Ask Question function on the lower left-hand corner of your screen, please use the Q&A tool up at the top of your screen to submit any questions using the comment tool.